Excited to read for y'all today. So, I had something come in loud and clear just to kick the week off. We're going to get into the day by day forecast in just a second. But here's the headline. I woke up and spirit showed me somebody grabbing like a little hatchet and cutting the ropes on a hot air balloon. And spirit was showing me the Ace of Swords. Like, use your Ace of Swords, your truth, your originality, your clarity, to cut shit off that has been weighing you down. And for some of you, this is stuff that has like been weighing you down for years, and I'm even going to use the word decades because that's what I'm hearing. And I'm going to give you an example. If somebody is told at a really young age that they are clumsy, they're going to maybe carry that their whole life, right? If they're told enough times, they really begin to believe that they are clumsy. And hey, Jen, welcome. And so this person who believes that they are clumsy, over time, they begin to like restrict their movements and move in an unnatural way because they're like, oh my God, I'm really clumsy, so I need to be really careful. And they move in this bizarre way that then ends up with them getting into these clumsy places, or people being like, wow, you're kind of clumsy, huh? Because you're moving funny. You can let go of a belief and try something new on. There's no law against that. There's a lot of social structures in place that make it look weird. And I'm going to give you another example. You might decide, oh, you know what? I'm going vegetarian. And when you tell a couple of your friends, hey, I'm going vegetarian, morning, Roy, I'm going vegetarian, or I'm gonna take up ballroom dancing or whatever. Okay, fill in the blank, and they might look at you like vegetarian. Blah, 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 all my thoughts and projections about being a vegetarian when that has nothing to do with your friend. You know what I'm saying? And love your friend. Your friend's great. They don't mean anything by it. They just haven't dealt with their own internal shit that makes them feel like, oh, I need to make you feel weird about moving on, changing, growing. Grab your originality and your clarity and move with it. And don't be afraid to cut shit off. And I don't mean people, I mean beliefs. Our beliefs are what dictate how our life goes. Okay? Like the person who feels they're clumsy, moving in the funny way and ends up knocking shit over. Move in your own way. Originality is like a fucking an endangered species, a resource that is in extreme decline. We need to cultivate it. Cultivate clarity, cultivate originality. Hey, Maria, welcome. Okay, so the Ace of Swords is just what I kind of want you to put at the top of your paper. Ace of Swords this week, no matter what the rest of these cards say, that is kind of the, if we were talking about doing a painting, the underpainting, the background color is the Ace of Swords. Clarity, originality, not being afraid to change if it is what suits you, if it is what is true and authentic to you, okay? Even if it upsets the room, even if it creates a little bit of conflict, a little bit of change, change means conflict. If we lived in a world where everybody was like, oh my God, you're changing, that's fantastic. Oh my God, you're growing. Yesterday you didn't feel this way, today you feel this way. How cool for you to have had a breakthrough. If we lived in that world, it'd be easier to change and to be ourselves. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we are in an existence that threatens our originality and independence, but also rewards it extremely for those of us who are able to get through the gauntlet of that rejection. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Let's get into the daily forecast. So, as always, we're going to go day by day for the coming week just to get a flavor of essentially what the week is bringing us, right? This is the flavor, and then we will get into the elemental forecast, fire signs, water signs, earth signs, air signs, and look at what each of y'all need to know, what you can bring to the week for your highest good. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Got another eclipse coming. That matches up with that Ace of Swords energy. This one's a solar eclipse, so a new moon in the sign of new beginnings, in the sign of Aries, you know, and the sign of being original. Spirit is like bringing it all together for me now. Okay, so strike out. Strike out on your own. If nobody has done it like this before, that's probably because it needs to be done this way. We've never seen it that way before. And there's a real danger in this media saturated age of thinking mine doesn't look like theirs, that must mean mine's not good enough. Yours might be like the most amazing thing anybody's ever seen. So don't stop yourself before you want to. You know, be Aries like this week in the sense of Yeah, of course nobody's looks like mine because mine is mine and mine's the shit. That's very Aries energy. Okay? Okay. All right. Thank you, Spirit. For the highest good of all of us, Spirit, please give us a preview. What is the flow of our week? What can we expect, and what do you want to bring our awareness to day by day for our highest good? For our highest good, Spirit. All of us who tune into this reading, there is a through line and a connection through all of us. What do each of us need to know for our highest good? There's a through line and a connection for all of us. Didn't we get this one for the day we did the reading last time? I feel like we did. Pretty beautiful energy. Okay, Spirit just being consistent. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Enough previews. I'll get through this. Stay beautiful. Stay. And Thursday, Spirit. Friday. Okay. Saturday. This is an interesting week. And finally, Spirit. The end of the week. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay. Definitely making some changes this week, and I feel like you're making them from a really powerful place. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes letting go of something, chopping that rope that holds down your hot air balloon actually sets you free to have access to more. That is something that Spirit is saying. So I'm kind of giving you the headlines, and then we're going to go day by day. I also feel there is literally zero rush. Zero rush on your part, because life is going to be supplying the rush. Life is going to be supplying the activity, the messages, the invitations, the oppositions, all of the different things that kind of activate you. So you you do your best at peace and with that clarity, that Ace of Swords that Spirit was talking about to begin with. Okay, so today, again, love to see it. Gathered around with like-minded people, counting our blessings, noticing how much love exists in our life, noticing how much joy in general exists in our life. Spirit is talking about, for some of you, and I very much relate to this, pets. It's like we aren't necessarily all surrounded by people that we feel that with, but there are pets, there are places that fill us with joy. Cultivate more joy today. Reach out to the people that you love. Do things that fill you with joy and love. Ideally, this reading is one of those things, right? It's like when I come here, it fills my cup and I become more aware of what is good in the world, and I'm able to create more of it because I'm aware of it in the first place. So really beautiful card. Looks like a beautiful day. I don't think you have to go out looking for this. I think that this comes to you. Looking at tomorrow, Sunday, Nine of Pentacles, another great card. Self-sufficient, self-satisfied with what you've done. We had this card last week too. I feel like a lot of us are, as much as the world is throwing things into disarray, sometimes that demands of us that we ground ourselves and find more of ourselves. So perhaps the people that feel inclined to tune into this kind of reading are on that path of like, the world is crazy, so that means I have to become more sane, more balanced, more self-assured, more self-possessed. When this world is trying to pull at us and change our gait and move us into different places, it's like it's most important now that I know myself, appreciate myself, build on the things that I want to create, giving yourself a pat on the back. So whatever the case, Sunday, wherever you are in terms of your resources, you should be appreciating what you've created for yourself within and without. And I do feel that there will be like tangible, visible, enjoyable rewards. It's like enjoying the fruits of your labor. So maybe something like a Sunday dinner would be really nice, where it's really grounding. It's really like, wow, let me count my blessings in the sense of look at all these ingredients I have in front of me. And I'm going to have the patience and take the time to create this beautiful, rich meal for myself. Like, that's kind of the vibe. So take it as a metaphor or take it literally, depending on where you are on the I enjoy cooking scale. Because Spirit is talking about that's a way that even if you don't have a ton of money in the bank, you can be like, yeah, but I've got enough to pay my bills. I have a roof over my head. I'm able to, watch YouTube for free on the internet. So my entertainment is free. Counting my blessings, much like counting your emotional blessings today, tomorrow, counting those tangible blessings. And so, okay, so I may not have all the money in the bank, but I got these onions, garlic, there's peppers, this protein, and I can make something beautiful and delicious and rich out of it. That's another way to embrace the Nine of Pentacles. And what we embrace, we multiply. What we believe, we encounter. I don't know where you land on the scale of understanding that or believing that. And I'm not asking you to change your mind. Again, cultivate your own originality, your own way of thinking. But I'll just say experiment with it and see what happens. Let's leave it there. Okay. Monday. Exactly. Oh, I feel the exact same way. So, this is Monday. Of course, listen, weekends feel like 10 of Cups and 9 of Pentacles. Mondays can feel a little bit 7 of Swords. What I'm hearing really loud and clear on Monday is don't take the bait. I feel like for some of you, somebody sends a bitchy little offhanded text, or a manager at work speaks in a way that is like, it's, oh, Spirit is saying like it's insidious because it's like it's something that you couldn't take to HR because it's so low key. Like they're so good at just getting in like these tiny little like acupuncture needle digs. That's just what Spirit is saying. That's certainly not true for all of you. And certainly it's not true for all of you that that's the manager. Sometimes that's like your mom or whatever, like, and somebody who's kind of like getting in digs where it's like, this is tough because I can't even really say anything because I'm going to sound nuts if I call you out for this. But also, I don't need to engage with this. And I can put an end to this phone call, oh, look what time it is, gotta go. Like, ugh, Jen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry then that this is one that Spirit is reaching out and tapping. Spirit is being super funny though. They're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I would love to continue this conversation, but I am having explosive diarrhea right now. I'm just like, if there's a faster way to shut down a conversation, I don't know what it is, but Spirit's like, by any means necessary, keep yourself away from it. And it's like with this extremely light heart. I don't know if any of you have seen the movie Better Off Dead. It's a 1980s John Cusack movie, cult classic. If you haven't seen it and you like weird humor, treat yourself. But Spirit is reminding me of a scene where he's making an excuse to get out of a conversation. And he's like, I'm so sorry. My grandma dropped acid and hijacked a school bus full of penguins. So gotta go. Bye. Like something like that. That's Monday. If you can get out of the conversation. If you have to be, yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Yes. Oh my God, that makes me so happy. If you have to engage in the conversation, however, because some of us will have to, 7 of Swords says, yes, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. 7 of Swords says you don't have to engage in this as a battle. You can be what some people would consider like low key, or, the 7 of Swords can imply like sneaky. Usually, right? We see that who is pictured as like kind of a thief in the night. But also, this person doesn't. If somebody is conscripted, drafted into a war that they don't want to fight, I don't blame them for taking their shit and leaving. Hey, I see you there. So, you don't have to go to the mat. You also don't have to, dominate or conquer this. You can take the data and walk away and like live to fight another day is something that I'm hearing. So be as calm and as grounded and as, going off the 10 of Cups and 9 of Pentacles as you can. Oh, Roy, I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Oh, that makes my little heart happy. You don't need to go to the mat, and you don't need to feel guilty about not going to the mat. It doesn't mean that you're not standing up for yourself because you don't tell, your boss at the job that you need to go fuck off and die. Yes, that would feel great for like half a second. But then the real aim, which is to have a job that I enjoy and be able to get through life in a comfortable way, that gets decimated, right? So we need to pick our battles and know when we're in a powerful position, when we're in a not as powerful position. Spirit is reminding me of the 48 Laws of Power. See, yeah, don't I totally relate. Haven't we all been there? And it's like, okay, do I want what I want long run or do I want what I want short term? This says pick your battles, be strategic. There may be a more powerful position or moment to have that kind of, more of a, aha, now I'm gonna get you. So it might be like, I'm documenting this behavior. That's just what Spirit is saying. So for some of you, it's something like that, where it's like this person, those low key things that I can't bring to, so this is real specific, those low key things that I can't technically bring to HR, documented over time. If you put half a gram, which may not register on a scale the first time, but if you keep putting that half, that tenth of a gram over and over and over, eventually there's going to be some weight and something is going to register. So for those of you for whom that makes sense, you need to be collecting evidence and putting yourself in a powerful position for when you need to bring this person to justice. Just what I'm hearing. We do also have the justice card later in the week. So, things. Okay. So, Tuesday. Love to see it. Ten of Pentacles. Oof, Jen, I feel you. I feel you. Then take this in really deep. Take it in really deep. Tuesday looks better. Ten of Pentacles. So for those of you who are afraid of that confrontation or know that that is like a work-related thing, when it comes to money, safety, security, things are looking very positive. As a matter of fact, most of the week. So I do want to reinforce, we're going to get there in a few seconds because in a few days we have a tower moment. So knowing that, I want to reinforce, if you are not in a powerful position, don't blow shit up. Yes. Thank you, Maria. Thank you. Yes, get everything in writing. Yes, that phone call we had, can you send that to me in an email? But security, safety looks like it is there. Legacy looks like it is there. I'm actually also hearing like the words inheritance. I'm hearing the word foundation. So for any of you who are dealing with anything like that, again, we have the justice card later on. Be really, if you have to be sneaky, be sneaky. If you have to be sneaky to do the right thing, be sneaky to do the right thing. Have any of you seen or read The Scarlet Pimpernel? Spirit is giving me all the movie references. There is, if any of y'all are really nerdy and you used to love like those British PBS like teleplays, or if you just like good shit that maybe you've never seen before because it's like old and obscure, there is on YouTube a free version of an old PBS, I think it was PBS, documentary of, not documentary, oh my God, sorry, teleplay of the Scarlet Pimpernel. What's his face is in it? Magneto. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Dr. Quinn is in it. Magneto's in it. It's got a really great cast. Please forgive me for forgetting all of their names right now because we're in a different type of space. Okay. If you have to be sneaky to do the right thing, do that. And especially in the name of keeping yourself secure, okay? Financially, physically, home, safety. But Tuesday looks like a really good day. Looks like you get some stability. Wednesday, you're waiting. It's also like the hump day. It's the midweek, right? So there is a little bit of that feeling of like, oh my God, are we there yet? George Carlin, holy shit, it's only Wednesday. HSIOW. So waiting, standing still. I feel again, I just want to say don't rush. Don't rush. And we're coming up on that eclipse. Like I said, there's not a lot that you need to do because life, opposition, conversations, events are going to be coming at you. You're going to find yourself involved in things. So if you think you need to hurry or take a whole bunch of action, I would actually really, I would pretty strongly advise against that. I would advise you to get as grounded and gain as much of your equilibrium as possible, and then go into this week knowing that like, okay, I've eaten, I've slept, I've, meditated or journaled or done whatever it is that puts, taken a walk, seen the sun in the morning, whatever it is that puts me in the best possible position to navigate. And then I'm going to be less reactive when things inevitably happen because that is life, right? So, Wednesday, the headline is chill. Things are happening that you can't necessarily move forward yet, so your job is just to chill and, if anything, to observe. And again, I'm going to, kind of connect that to what they said with the Seven of Swords, of Maybe you're not in the most powerful position right now, but you are in a position to observe. You're in a position to check out your surroundings. If you got yanked up by a snare by your ankle in the middle of the woods, thrashing and moaning and screaming is actually going to put you in a more dangerous position than if you, ooh, okay, this is fucking terrifying. Okay, I'm going to breathe. Okay, how far off the ground am I? What's around? Can I reach up? What can I... So, as calm as you can and patient as you can as you wait to see how things shake out. Thursday, a lot of action. Eight of Wands, here it is. Things coming at you. Answers, emails, submissions. This is what I'm hearing. So for some of you, if you're waiting on a response, an official stamp, an answer, a request, Spirit is saying like an interview for some of you. And I'm hearing this a couple different ways. I'm hearing this like, yes, that could be job interview, but I'm also hearing like journalist interview. Like, oh, I really want to talk to this person, or this person wants to talk to you. And they land in your inbox because they really want to talk to you. So action is coming. Put yourself in the best possible position. That's kind of the headline. Put yourself in the best possible position to receive the things you want and to dodge just real easy the things that you don't. Okay, now, this is important. Friday. The Tower. We edge closer and closer to the eclipse, which is Saturday. And as I said, eclipses usually show us stuff without us having to do anything. We are also living in a time when we are getting tower-fied news every single day. And it should help you understand that, yes, even as we get this tower-fied news every day, oh, things are crazier, oh, things are crazier, oh, things are crazier. Again, what it demands of us, here's our clarifying card for the Tower, is to pause, is to step back, is to look at what can I do with this and what can I not do with this? What can I let go of? What's not mine to carry and that I can definitely drop this and leave this behind? And what do I want to cultivate more of or change? So something happens that forces you to recognize where something is unsustainable and ideally to create a new plan. Because some people be having a tower fall around, like all around their head, and they're like, well, God, I don't know what's happening. I don't know why things keep falling apart. This is so nuts. But I guess this is where I live, so I'm going to stay here while things crumble around my... Don't be that person. Look at what's happening. Feel like this is why Spirit's like, you have so much love, blessings, financial and physical security, Eight of Wands, there's activity coming in, so there's all kinds of change and possibilities, so you don't need to be attached to just one. This is the only way it can work, and if this doesn't work, I don't know what I am, what I'll do. It's, if you feel that way about something, you need to check that. You need to check that and just see, is that true? If this relationship fell apart, would I really be, I'm lost. I have no idea who I am. I have no idea what I'll do. That means something needs to change fundamentally. That doesn't mean that person needs to change and the relationship needs to suddenly become good. Hopefully that happens. That's not what I would bet on. I wouldn't put my eggs in somebody else's fucking basket because a lot of times people don't even give a shit. And they be dropping their basket and our eggs crack because we put them over there in their basket instead of keeping them in ours. So that's something that Spirit is saying about it. So I don't know if you'll be hearing that phrase or that's something that's been occurring to you, but Spirit is saying some of you are in danger because you are putting your eggs in somebody else's basket. This person will keep me safe. This job will keep me secure or whatever. And it's kind of like diversify. Seven of Pentacles, like diversify your bonds. I'm using that. Spirit is punny with me sometimes. Yes, I know that that's a financial thing. I don't know anything about that. If you've got the money to have bonds and shit like that, there's better people that you could be talking about, okay? I'm a humble witch. But diversify your bonds financially. Word. Oh my God, I didn't even think about the eggs. Thank God. That's so funny. And also diversify like your bonds. Like if I rely on this one fucking person, my partner is it. They're my best friend. They're this, that, and the other thing. I think that's wonderful. Like, I think that's wonderful. And we all need other bonds. That puts a lot of pressure on that one person, that sibling, that mother, that relationship, that whatever, that job. If there's a way to diversify your income stream, oh, I'm going to use my little side hustle, do this, that, and the other thing. If something is unsustainable and shaky, start thinking about how you can diversify. Okay. I feel like you come to a good decision and a good place. Because Saturday, the end of the week for us, when we will be meeting up again, we are at justice. We are at a place where we are able to make a clear-headed decision, where we're able to balance our head and our heart to say that we know what's right, to make a decision and to codify it. So some of us might be signing leases or sending those official, I'm here's my resignation, or hey, I want to submit my proposal, or etc. Okay? So what is it for you? It's a very big decision. Justice, we've got other cards for choices and decisions, but when justice shows up, it's like, do I stay in this marriage? Does this religion still serve me, etc., etc., and making this choice that reverberates through your life. So I feel like for a lot of us, that tower thing of like, I thought this was going to stay the same forever and stand still and never have a problem and never stop working the same way, and then it does, and it forces us to think about decisions we need to make in response to it. But again, looking at that card, I feel like it's a pretty positive outcome for the tower, for all that there can be a positive outcome, because no one likes a tower, no one likes being surprised, okay? But I say that, and then Spirit is kind of funny. They're like, well, don't you think the Stoic philosophers kind of got off on that? Like if you think about how they were just waiting for something to come along in life and try to knock them out of their values or off of their path, and they're like, ooh, bitch, you don't even know this is going to make me stronger. That's just something that I'm hearing, is choosing to look at this optimistically. Again, I'll use the phrase that the universe is happening for me, not to me. Just play with the idea that before you decided to incarnate at this crazy time, you brave motherfucker, that you had some things you wanted to do. I didn't get to be that creative last time. I really want to do that this time. I really want to use my voice, or I really want to serve my community, or I really want to stand up to what I know is wrong, or I really want to have a lot of fun and make a lot of friends, or whatever. It's like, I was a peasant, I was a servant, I didn't get to spend money. This time I want to spend money, I want to know what that feels like, or whatever. We all have different, like DNA. That's our astrological charts, right? Make room to be yourself. Don't be like anybody else. Ace of Swords, our overarching card. Okay. Look out for Friday. Look out for Monday. Rest of the week looks pretty fucking solid. Arm yourself with equilibrium. Take care of yourself. Ground yourself. I will give you, I spent a lot of the past couple days doing one of my only eclipse rituals, which is to clean up and declutter my environment. So I encourage you that perhaps some pre-eclipse rituals that would also serve you in that way of like, my life goes easier when I wake up in the morning and my room is, clean and everything is where it's supposed to be. Whereas it's a very different experience to wake up, walk into the kitchen to make the coffee, and it's like there's dishes everywhere. Everything is Gets your mind going a very different way than everything looks wonderful. Everything's where it should be. I feel like I can do stuff today. Do you know what I'm saying? That's going out to a couple of you that maybe struggle with like ADHD, ADHD, like routines, maintenance, etc. Like, don't think about it like I should be doing this because that's what like good or smart or like together people do. Think about like I want my life to have flow to it. And for my life to have flow, boundaries create flow. Routines create flow. Okay. All right. That was our weekly forecast. That is what the universe is bringing to us. And now, let's get into the elemental forecast. This week, to keep it fair, no rhyme intended, we will start with air. Pulling a theme of the week and then looking at each element. Pentacles for money, resources, physical health. Swords for your headspace, the kind of messages you'll be receiving or giving this week. Cups for your emotions, connections, and relationships. And finally, fire to look at your energy, where it's at, how it's headed, and what you need to know about each of these for your highest good. So air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, Spirit. Want to know, what is the through line for the air signs this week? What theme do you want to bring their awareness to for their highest good? Okay. Thank you, Spirit. And what do you want them to know? Woo! About that. Okay. Let me just throw that across the room. All right. That is beautiful. Okay. Money, resources, jobs, projects, Spirit. For Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, what do they need to know when it comes to their resources? Gorgeous. What about their headspace? Messages, thoughts. Hey, okay. And what about emotionally, Spirit? Emotionally, relationally. Big air sign energy. Okay. And finally, their fire, Spirit. Their get up and go. Where their energy is. And how you want to advise them. Okay. So, be true to yourself, air signs, and I feel like there is a strong temptation to get distracted. I feel like that's really your biggest issue this week is you could get very focused on the wrong things. Theme of the week, the devil, and we will get into the rest of the cards and why I'm saying that. But Spirit is saying we can get attached to ideas, to habits, to certain ways of doing things that have outlived their usefulness. And I feel for some of you, this is like kind of like a protective mechanism. Like I retreat into this mode or mood or substance or habit in order to protect myself from being disappointed. And I feel like, clarifying card, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that this week. The reason the star is immune to the devil is because she has no shame. Shame is what keeps us ruled by the devil. It's what keeps us small. It's what keeps us addicted. It's what keeps us in dead-end jobs and toxic relationships. There'll never be anything better than this. Maybe I'm not even worth it, blah, blah, blah. Again, all of those are, sadly, self-protection mechanisms. We don't always look at them that way, but that is what they are. The star has decided that she is strong enough and bright enough that she doesn't have to protect herself from what the world has to offer. She's naked for a reason. No armor, not even clothes. Again, no shame. Why should I have clothes on? There's nothing wrong with me. Why should I worry that anybody would laugh at me or misunderstand me when I understand myself? I don't hold it against them that they don't understand me. That's a shame for them because they probably don't understand themselves. And so she's immune. So wherever you let shame dictate what you should do or shouldn't do, I advise you to look at that and to see being vulnerable and taking off your armor as an act of strength. Actually, I don't need this. Actually, this really weighs me down. Come back to what Spirit said at the beginning of the reading in the channeled message about the Ace of Swords and cutting down these ropes that hold down your hot air balloon. Your ability to see the bigger picture, right? So, you are innocent. I'm going to say something that Spirit wants you to know. I don't say this lightly. This is something that Spirit wants me to put through this lens right now. You are forgiven. You are forgiven for that thing that you can't yet forgive yourself for. There are forces in the world that forgive you, that cleanse you, that bathe you in innocence and say it's okay. We all came here to learn. And most of us, the way that we learn is by fucking things up. And sometimes we hurt other people. Sometimes we hurt our own selves. And you are forgiven. So give yourself that this week to the extent that you can. Or take the little amount that you can stand from this. Okay? Titrate that forgiveness. It's okay. All right. Money. Jobs. Resources. I'm very glad to hear that. I wouldn't say it if Spirit wasn't like, you need to tell right now. Like, you need to say this shit. So, please. Oof, thank you, given and received. When it comes to resources, they're growing. That's the first thing that I'm hearing from Spirit is the potential is growing, growing and growing. And the more you are willing to grow, the more you are willing to try things, to test things, to challenge yourself. Because again, that devil might say, I don't want anybody to see me trying because that's embarrassing. So I'd rather not try. You know, like, yeah, I really want to start doing photography. Yeah, I really want to share my poetry, but like it's going to be so embarrassing. People are going to think this and this and that. I will refer you back to, and I'm just paraphrasing here. I believe the quote is by Sun Tzu of, you know, when there are no enemies within, no enemy without can vanquish me. I don't care if you think this what I'm doing is cringy or embarrassing. That means nothing to me. Like, it means everything to me if it does something for you, and it means nothing to me if it doesn't. Like, you move along, I move along. That's okay. It's not even, no, you're dumb, I'm the best, this is the shit. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. This isn't for everybody. Like, but I'm not gonna fucking drink that in. I'm not gonna get drunk on that shit and be like, well, I guess I should hop off the internet forever because rando number 2439 says that I'm dumb. No enemies within. Time to vanquish the enemies within. That's something that I would really love the air sign people to think about this week. So, in your thought space, love to see it. Clarity, breakthrough. Love to see clarity and breakthrough when we have the devil. And also when we have, spoiler alert, the rest of your elemental forecast, which we will get into in just a second. So, speak your truth. Cut through the bullshit. Hey, hey. If you have something, even if it is gonna upset somebody or create a conflict or shake the table, if it is true and you need to say it and you need know that in your fucking soul you need to say it, then say it. And let the rest of the world do what they need to do with it. No enemies within. If you know, okay, I've really sat with myself, I've worked out, I need to say this or do this or try this, and I, in the course of doing that, have gotten with every enemy inside of me, every voice that says, you're dumb, this already exists, you don't need to, like, this is, people are gonna blah, 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 blah. As soon as you've gotten with every one of those voices and had a dialogue and been like, actually, we've decided that being vulnerable is brave, and we'd rather be brave than cool or brave than unbothered, then we can go forward. Okay? Okay. Emotionally speaking, there is a blessing that wants to arrive, but you might not see it. You might be so focused on what's not happening or what hasn't happened yet, or like, frankly, Spirit is saying for some of you, you want something that's not good for you. And that's okay. That's most of us, right? It's like, oh, I want $1 million. And it's like, oh, if we could show you your ghost of Christmas future of what would happen if we just gave you that $1 million, or let that person suddenly like you back, or whatever it is. It's happening for you, not to you. And there is a blessing that wants to come through, but it will be best recognized if you have your eyes open and if you're willing to be vulnerable. Vulnerable, okay, air signs are intellectuals. We want to know the facts. We want to know how it works. It needs to make sense. This don't make no sense. So if you're trying to make it make sense, you might miss something. Sometimes miraculous, amazing, beautiful things happen, and it's as within, so without. So for those of us this week who are air signs who decide, the devil in me is telling me to, you know, stick to what I know, don't change too much, don't show too much, stay protected, stay safe. Nope. Be vulnerable. Be open. Look for the signs and follow them, even if they don't make sense. I know that that is a tall order for my air sign people, but I tell you that there is a blessing in it for you if you don't stop looking for what you are predicting. That's just what they're saying. Again, I said that there is the possibility of distraction. Five of Wands, I see this as like the eternal scroll. Comment wars, playing with ideas. Nothing wrong with that if it's fun for you and it doesn't drain you. Do it if you like. I know that some air sign people, my Geminis in particular, might get off on that shit. Might raise your energy, but for a lot of us, it does the opposite. And I do feel that this week it's kind of like, it's not really working for any of us. So if you have some great idea, if you have a bunch of fire that you want to use in comment wars or whatever, maybe that fire could be better served being pro than anti. If I could use all of this brain and all of this wit and all of this creativity that I have, what if I put that in a more useful, fun, creative place? Like making a parody account or something like that, where it's like, I'm not just here batting my wand around with other dumbasses who are never going to change their mind, which again is fine. Like a fucking digital circle jerk, I don't begrudge you that. I just want you to know that that's what it is. And that if you want your ideas to like change the world or move people, they would probably be better used distilled and put into your own thing, your own account, your own website, your own channel, your own essays, your own. Okay? Okay. So be brave. Don't play small. Allow yourself to be seen. And yes, like for people, some people to not understand and to want to fire arrows at you. It's okay. You don't need armor. They're digital arrows. Hey, hey, Sky, welcome. Very apt name as we finish up with the air signs. So now, let's move on to the earth signs. Oh, I hope you find it here. I truly do. Clarity is the name of the game this week, so I hope that you find it here. All right. Let's mix it up and get into the earth signs. Spirit. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We want to know what they need to know this week. Their highest good, Spirit. What is the theme? What do you want to bring the earth signs awareness to? Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn for their highest good. Beautiful. And when it comes to money, projects, work, jobs, Spirit, when it comes to their resources and physical health, what do you want the earth signs to know? Okay, and mentally, hey, hey, Fernando, welcome. What about their headspace, Spirit? What is the nature of their thoughts? Beautiful. And then their emotions, feelings, connections, relationships. What is it looking like for earth signs this week in the realm of the cups? Beautiful. Okay. And finally, Spirit, their energy, their fire. What is the flavor of their energy and how is it being directed? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, for their highest good. Beautiful. You have such a beautiful, beautiful reading this week, earth signs. Just the tiniest little bit of static to look at because this is fucking gorgeous. So the sun, here's your theme of the week. Be yourself and enjoy yourself. Spirit is saying something really important and poignant, which is like being yourself should mean enjoying yourself. If you are not enjoying yourself, then you might not be being yourself. There might be something that you want to bring out, and there's a reason that the sun is depicted as a child. I'm going to connect that to something that they were saying for the air signs, because maybe some of you have some prominent air in your chart, that it's about being, oh, that's the star. That's the star, one of my faves. So the reason that it's a child, shameless. They just do what feels good. They come out and they're like, hey, look at my drawing. Isn't this amazing? It's a bunch of scribbles. But because they are so excited and so aligned, anybody with a heart will be like, that is amazing. Let's put that right up on the fridge. This is the coolest thing ever. And then when we do that, that child is affirmed in who they are. Like, oh, I'm a good artist. And they start to glow and they start to have a better understanding of who they are and what they like. And then that child grows into someone who is in their full potential. So you need to love on yourself. You need to appreciate yourself. You need to get around people who enjoy and appreciate you. Beautiful reading. Beautiful reading. Oh my God. So much joy and appreciation and love surrounding you this week. So we'll talk about it. But it involves you showing up. So where do you want to show up more? Where could you enjoy yourself more? Where could you, like a child, let go of, oh, I can't do that because I'm a man. I'm over 30. I'm blah, blah, blah. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. You be yourself. You are unique. So using other people and other things as like a barometer or a map isn't always that effective. Be yourself, okay? Truly, truly. And if you are not having fun, you might not being yourself. Now, when we look at your resources, Four Pentacles, you have more than you might know, and you want to be a little freer with it. You're standing on your pentacles. You've got them balanced on your head. You can't move that well when you, Spirit is using the phrase, when you like hamstring yourself. So you might have more resources surrounding you, and some of that could have to do with, again, being more seen, more public, more supported. So something like, if some of you have been like, I really want to put this account, this channel, this essay, this whatever out there, here's your big invitation that there's a lot more resources and support available to you than you might be just tapping into. You might be holding yourself back, and part of that could be, you know, earth signs. Like, we are a little bit more, ooh, I'm going to use a word that normally I wouldn't use. I'm going to say conservative, but I don't mean like politically. I mean, oh, I'm not going to do some weird, wild, avant-garde out there shit. I'm going to do what I know to be like down to earth and practical. Sometimes that can be a little bit limiting. There might be a lot more available to you than you even know. And the Four of Pentacles, just as a reminder, is a merchant. This person is in no danger of having not enough money. They're just in danger of holding it back. Yes, thank you, Marie. That's a perfect comparison. It's very much that. It's reserving and it's holding on to, in belief that there may not be more where that came from. And looking at the rest of your cards, there's more where that came from. So don't be afraid to share it. Okay? Okay. Looking at your headspace. Love it. Spirit opened up the whole reading with the Ace of Swords and clarity. Six of Swords, learning what you need to learn and moving forward. Moving forward. She is on a horse. She is working in tandem with her body. There is no static. There is no interference. What you have been through was difficult, and earth signs are very, they're resourceful. So if we go through something, it's like, I'm going to fucking learn something from this. I didn't go through this fucking shit for no reason. I'm going to take something with me that makes me smarter or stronger or faster or better or more strategic or whatever, right? So looking at what you've been through that was difficult, take what you need to learn from it so that you can lighten your load and leave the story. Bring the, you know, bring the moral of the story, drop the story. The story is not useful. You don't need to keep unpacking it. Now, beautifully, in the realm of emotions and connections, Ten of Cups, surrounded, appreciated, seen. We had this card for today, cups overflowing with joy and connection. If you ever wonder if it's out there for you, it's out there for you. When it comes to your energy, these are so, I mean, how could we ignore? How could we ignore the support, the connection? Also, there's a big theme of family between these two cards. So that can be bio family, that can also be chosen family. The people who make us feel the most seen, loved, supported, appreciated. I see you reveling this week, reveling in what you have. And I hope that reveling in what you have emotionally, creatively, and in terms of like support and understanding, that you can transfer a little bit of that belief right over here to your resources. Again, opportunities, projects, jobs, your paycheck, etc. You can go further. There's more where that came from. Maybe you even tap into the genius of the other people in your life that you love, and they might be able to see ways that you don't yet see just because you have your own perspective, right? So maybe you tap into your Ten of Cups people, your Four of Wands people, and they could like, oh, well, I could totally see you doing blah, blah, blah. And you go, that's it. That's exactly it. Why didn't I think of that? I can totally do that. And there's more where that came from. That is your headline for the week, okay, Earth signs? There's more where that came from. So if I'm afraid of giving away this little piece of approval or this little bit of money, tell myself, there's more where that came from. There's more where that came from. Believe it. A lot of flow and beauty here. A lot of potential. Ooh, I love to see that. You have the support that you need to move forward and to grow. That's something else that I'm hearing. Okay? Okay. I hope that that is helpful, earth signs. Now let's move on to the fire signs. And we'll finish it off with the water people. All right. So Spirit, when we tune in for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, what is the theme for their week, Spirit? What is the through line for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? What do you want to bring their awareness to this week for their highest good? Beautiful. And when it comes to their work, projects, money, resources, health, spirit. Ooh, love, okay. And what about their headspace? The headspace of the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. All right. And what about their heart space? Feelings, relationships, connections, spirit. The water of life for fire signs, gorgeous. And finally, their own element, spirit. What do the fire signs need to know this week for their highest good? When it comes to their energy, how do you want them to know it and direct it for their highest good? All right. So, beautiful card. First up, the High Priestess fire signs. Spirit just said this phrase very clearly. Watch and wait. Watch and wait. There's more evidence coming to the forefront. That's what I feel. So play it cool. A High Priestess, modern equivalent, say less. Play your cards close to your chest. You don't need to be, it's not even about hiding things. It's just letting them cook. What Spirit is saying is, you know how when you're cooking, Thanksgiving turkey, or cooking some long taken thing in the oven, we don't want to open it, check it, open it, check it, open it, check it. We're interrupting the temperature. We're interrupting the cooking process. Okay? Something is cooking. Don't crack open the oven. Watch and wait. Watch and wait, because you will know with the High Priestess when it's like, now I know what I need to do. Or here's the action that I need to take. So calm yourself. That's something I see with the High Priestess, and it is not sexy advice, what I'm about to say. And that's why you don't hear people say it that often. We need quiet time of literally nothing in order to hear our intuition. Yes, there's some of us who are so used to it that we can hear that tiny little subtle voice even when there's traffic and our boss is talking and we're surrounded by coworkers, this, that, and the other thing, and some of us can tune into that. Most of us are not practiced at it, so we need to go for a walk without our phone, or to journal in the morning and then sit there for 5 minutes afterwards with our eyes closed. You don't have to get rid of your thoughts. You just want to create some space and time where you can actually hear from Spirit. And so doing things like long bath with just maybe some music, or going for a walk but without scrolling, or whatever. Meditating, great. If that works for you, great. A lot of us are, we live in a time that doesn't make it easy to do that. So if you need to do it another way, do it another way, but create space and peace and quiet so that what you already know can bubble to the surface, especially as you encounter what Spirit is saying is like, watch and wait, because something is going to show up and be like, there it is. Okay, now I know what to do. So watch and wait. Chill. When it comes to money and resources, we love to see it. 10 Pentacles, all the support, all of the money, all of the, I'm also feeling just like a firm foundation. And I feel for a lot of you, you've built this for yourself. Yes, some of you have the benefit of family and stuff like that, and that is beautiful. I definitely see that here, the Ten of Pentacles. And for others of you, it's be proud of what you've built. You can be so proud. It's some of you are very focused on I'm creating a legacy. I want what I do to live beyond me. So whether it's your work or whether it's your creativity or whatever, even the way that you raise your kids. This is something that I'm hearing. There's that you're leaving a beautiful, full, warm legacy. Money also just looks fantastic this week. So it's like if you're waiting on a check, waiting on a lovely payment, looks like it comes in this week and that you feel like, ah, yes, I can share. I have so much that I'm able to share with the people that I love, which fire signs love to do. Now, when we look at your headspace, there are certain fights, struggles, conflicts that you do not need to be involved in this week. I don't think that they necessarily all serve you. Let's just pick up and jump right over here to your energy, just jumping slightly ahead in the forecast. There are some unnecessary battles and fights that are, frankly, I'm going to say beneath you. Where it's like, do I really want, how do I look, right? A full on adult getting into like a screaming name calling match with a kid in a sandbox. Sometimes that's what some of us look like, having an argument with someone who may be a full grown adult, but if we really are speaking the truth, they're a kid in a sandbox, right? And so when we come to recognize that with somebody or some place, and it's like, oh, this is actually asking me to kind of lower myself in order to have this conversation or whatever it is, I can leave. I can leave that situation because I'm bigger than this. I'm better than this. This is not my fight. This, I'm going to take what's mine and I'm going to go because this is not my fight. Spirit is reminding me of, if any of you have ever watched the Back to the Future movies, there's a through line through each movie where the protagonist, Marty McFly, who's, you know, a Spitfire, very, I would say very much high likelihood of being a fire sign, right? The character. So a fiery, Spitfire ass motherfucker, and he does not like to be called chicken. If somebody calls Marty McFly a chicken, more than likely, he's going to do whatever fucking thing that they're challenging him to do. Oh, you don't want to fight? Oh, you don't want to race? Chicken? And he gets pulled into something that is not necessarily something that serves him. So by the end of the trilogy, finally at the end, the last person is like, chicken? And he finally has learned his lesson not to get drawn into fights that are unnecessary. Yes, yes. Ah, I'm among my people. So don't get drawn into some fucking shit that you don't need to get drawn into. Do not race Flea. It was Flea, right? I think in that third movie. Am I wrong? Am I crazy? You don't need to get into unnecessary fights. You want to reserve your energy, and especially reserve your energy for the people that you love. If you are spending more time and energy and fire on people that you hate than on people that you love, I think that there's an adjustment to be made there. There's plenty of wildfire in the world. We could use a little bit more heart fire, a little more hearth, a little more gather around and warm and hold close, right? Six of Cups says get together with your people. More than likely your people will be reaching out to you. And when I see Six of Cups, it's like it really is a soulmate card because it's the people that help us feel like we can really be ourselves. A lot of people, when they hear soulmate, they think of like romantic and they think of that big operatic, like, oh my God, passionate, falling in love, blah, blah, blah. And sure, lovely, great. I don't see the Six of Cups like that because the Six of Cups is a very like comforting card. It's a card where we kind of let down our gates, our armor, etc., and we can really be ourselves with somebody, which normally when people are like falling into new passionate love with people, it's not necessarily lowering of all these gates because there's a lot of like, oh my God, I'm terrified. Oh my God, I hope they love me. This feels like, oh, they love me. Oh, they love me. And thank God, like they remind me that I can love myself even when I'm not perfect, even when I'm not at my best and brightest and biggest, especially this week when you might be playing it quite low and slow. We're roasting a brisket over here, low and slow, and we are not peeking in at the oven because that is going to interrupt the process. Beautiful things are happening in your life. Don't rush. It's like you don't need to tug the roots that are popping out of the ground. Yes. Yes, so many. Yeah. And it's like that. It's a reading for the collective, and Neptune is about to move into Aries, and I feel like there is going to be a resurgence of originality. There's going to be a lot of issues and problems that come with that, but one of the beautiful things I think is going to be this like this resurgence of like original ideas and looking for original ideas as opposed to everybody trying to be like everybody. And that has a lot to do with being vulnerable, right? Like, I always think of, right now, Spirit's reminding me of Tiny Tim. Do you guys know the guy who sang, "Tiptoe through the tulips," with like the weird ass voice? Forgive me. Spirit's reminding me of Tiny Tim and being like, if Tiny Tim was like, I have the weirdest, stupidest, silliest voice, I could never be a recording artist, then he wouldn't be famous and rich. It is a creepy song. It's a weird voice. He totally could have been like, I sound creepy as shit. I'm never getting anywhere near a recording studio. And then we wouldn't have these strange treasures that he left us. So leave us your strange treasures, Firesides. Spirit does what Spirit wants. All right. All right. Now, finally, let us get to my good friends, my kindred spirits, my water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Let us see what's showing up for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces people this week, Spirit. We want to know what you want to bring their awareness to for their highest good, always for their ease, abundance, joy, love, and freedom of expression. Freedom of expression! Preview, freedom of expression, everything that we were talking about. Okay, all right, we're going to get into it. All right, but first, Spirit, money, resources, projects, jobs. What do my water sign people need to know when it comes to their pentacles? Gorgeous. Okay? And what about their headspace? Their thoughts, the kind of communications they're giving and receiving. Beautiful. How about emotions, connections, feelings, Spirit? What do my water sign people need to know for their highest good when it comes to their own element? Okay. And finally, what about their fire? What about their energy, their spirit, their inner light? What do they need to know about it? Wow. Gorgeous. Okay. Well, we start here. Your theme of the week, your vulnerability, your openness helps you shine. And I want to remind you that the star is not about being perfect. The star is about being who you are and being shameless. That's it's another watchword for the week. Shame doesn't make you smarter or better or cooler. So hiding certain parts of yourself because you think they could never be loved doesn't make you stronger. It's the opposite that does. It's, consciously and intentionally letting down your armor or removing your mask when you're in front of people that you know that it is safe to, people who are willing to see you for who you really are. I think it's also really important for you to follow your own inner guidance this week. The star is not the sun, right? The sun is where everything makes sense and I can see 5 miles ahead of me, so I can see exactly where the road is going. I know exactly where to go. The star is we're navigating in the dark, but that's when we can see the stars. They're always there, but it's only when it's dark outside. It's only when we have no fucking idea how well, there's no other way to navigate but to orient ourselves to our North Star, which is our values. If everything else in the world is crazy and topsy-turvy, the one thing that I can use as a compass is what I believe in and who I choose to be. So if somebody comes at me with a bunch of shitty energy, I can either match energy, which is very Five of Swords shit, or I can say, I'm who I am no matter what. I'm like a star. Sometimes the sun is out and you can't see me. Sometimes the sun goes down and I'm the brightest thing around. I go by what I am. I don't let the world tip me and pull me and shove me into doing something that isn't me. So following your own guidance, even if other people don't understand, and actually probably especially when people don't understand, If you see something and you know it to be true and you know that you need to follow it, you need to follow it. And it can be a little melancholy. We're going to jump over to your your element, the Eight of Cups. The star is the grandma of the eights, right? Because 17 reduces to 8, which matches the strength card, which matches the spirit of all of the eights, because they demand our strength, they demand our grace, they demand our faith. Faith, because I'm walking away from the finite, the limited amount of water that I could get into each of these cups, but I loved that water and I loved those cups. And you're asking me to leave behind this habit or this person or this situation. And there's no promise that there's something better out there for me. It's not the sun. It's not, I see right there down the path, there's my soulmate. Okay, I just need to ditch this loser and go be with my soulmate. It doesn't work like that. It's, am I ready to say, this is not enough for me? Regardless of what is out there or not out there, this ain't it. And I must trust that if this ain't it, then whatever is it is somewhere out there. And so making the brave decision to be who you are, to go out on your own path, even if other people don't understand. And even if it seems dark out here, and by that, Spirit means you might feel like you're the only one out there doing that. You might feel like everybody else seems to be like knowing what they're doing and they're acting in a way that other people would never go, why are you doing that? That doesn't mean they're doing it right. Look at the world. Look at the rules that we work on and society as it exists now. Do you really think that the way we've been doing it is the best way? And so anybody not doing it the way that you see everybody doing it is like a wrong way? I would almost say it's the opposite. I would almost say, God, if we see somebody doing something we've never seen before, that's probably a lot better than what the fuck we got right now. So are you more invested in what your soul wants you to do or in what the environment around you wants from you? I think that there is more out there for you. Looking at your resources, jobs, money, opportunities. There's flow here. Sixes are about flow. There's giving and receiving. There's balancing your budget. To the extent that you can afford to be generous this week, be generous and assume that it will come back around to you, because that's what I'm hearing from Spirit. And to the extent that you need some generosity this week, don't be afraid to ask, hey, could you help me out with this thing? I'm trying to figure out how to write this headline and I just was wanting your input. Or like, hey, could I borrow $10? Whatever. If you need it, there's the opportunity to pass it back and forth. So be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to ask for something, you know? Water signs can be a little bit, we can become the martyrs and the like, oh, nobody else does for me, I do for everybody. And we can get kind of locked into that. And so it can become extremely uncomfortable to ask for something or to say, oh, you know what, I'm actually not getting something that I need from you. And so I really need this from you. It would really mean a lot to me if you could do that for me. That can feel extremely uncomfortable. But that kind of vulnerability invites intimacy and it invites like the replenishment that you're looking for. So don't hold out on yourself. That's really what I'm hearing is like, don't tell yourself it's impossible before somebody else does. Like, let them say, oh no, it's impossible for me to give that to you. And then you can be like, okay, you're a dickhead. Or not. Don't, you know, that's just me. Okay. Headspace for the water signs. Four of Swords. Peace. Integration after disintegration is something that Spirit is saying. Okay, so like getting our thoughts back together and straight and kind of like clearing the cobwebs and the smoke and gaining some clarity. So love to see the Star and the Eight of Cups because these are both cards about seeking clarity, moving out of the darkness and moving toward what feels like light. So what would bring you a sense of peace this week? Are there certain conversations you need to have? Are there any things that you need to like bring to a close? Things that feel like loose ends? That's something that I'm hearing. That's like, I need to reach out to this person, or I need to finally tell that person that this connection is done, or whatever it is that allows me to move on in peace. Some of you may have already actually just done that, and that could be why the Four of Swords is the dominant feel of this week, is like, Ooh, that was fucking rough. Time to get some rest, get some replenishment. That's what I'm hearing. So, to those of you, please enjoy that rest and replenishment. It is much deserved. And I tell you what happens when you get rid of excessive swords, excessive air, excessive wind. It means that your spark is actually going to be able to grow. You know, there's a fine line between a spark and, you know, when you're starting a fire and you've just got the tiniest little flame, little flicker, and you can, and if you're very gentle and just enough air, it gets the fire to go up. But if you blow a little too hard, you will blow it out. So this week, the less you are stuck in your head, the more room that you create, the more no-brainers that you kind of create for yourself, the more space and ease and peace that you can create when it comes to your mental space, the more your creativity is going to shine, is going to kick off. So this is kind of what I was saying earlier, might have been for the earth signs, where it was like, if you will create some space, hey, good morning. If you will create some space and some intentional kind of blocked off time where it's like, this is all just about me getting my thoughts in order and clearing my head. And spirit is, you know, referring to from the forbidden Harry Potter books by She Who Must Not Be Named. But they're talking about the pensive, for those of you who have ever seen the movies or read the books. Dumbledore, one of the wizards, has, you know, he's taking his wand, he's tapping it against his head, and he's saying like, okay, I can't really use this thought right now. I'm going to put it over here in the pensive, and I will look at that later. Right now I need my mind clear for this. So spirit's like, you need like a little bit of a pensive, like doing a brain dump in the morning, right? Here's all the shit that I'm worried about. Here's all the stuff that I'm thinking about, blah, 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 blah. And then letting yourself like meditate or go for a walk. And you're kind of giving your brain the confirmation, the piece of like, we wrote it down, we thought about it, now we can move on to other things. Or now we can take 5 minutes to not think about shit. Just 5 minutes to not think about shit. And then see what bubbles up to the top of your consciousness, or see what idea drops into your fucking mind while you're taking that shower or taking that nap or reorganizing your fucking sock drawer. Something that takes just enough of your focus to like have you in a flow state. You know what I'm talking about? For some of us, it's like cooking. Like, I've made this meal so many times. So, you know, chopping the onions, chopping the garlic, chopping the pepper. And as I'm doing something that requires my focus so that I don't chop my little pink fingies off, but it's just enough focus because I can kind of, my mind can go elsewhere, like someone going for a run, taking a shower, right? Our mind can go elsewhere, and then our soul can be like, here's that idea you wanted. Oh, shit. And that's what they're saying for you. Okay? Clear the way. Clear the clouds, and then you will be able to see and follow the star. Okay. How's it sit on you? That was our elemental forecast. It is always a pleasure to hang out with you guys on Saturday mornings. I hope that it's helpful for you. Rewind if you missed yours. I'm excited. Next week is the eclipse. We'll be hanging out here live on the eclipse. So if you have thoughts, if you have questions, if you have stuff that you want to talk about, I want to hear all about it. So if you have stuff you want to talk about, eclipse or otherwise, let me know, because next week we're going to be sitting together while it's happening. That's going to be wild and amazing. Looking forward to it. Sending y'all so much love. Truly hope that this helps you have a better week and helps you be more of yourself, because that is what we need right now. More people being who they actually are and not folding into groupthink with a bunch of other people. All right. Sending y'all so much love. Till next time.